everybody, it's the Shy Genealogist, and today we're going to finish up working on this family land sheet that we've created. Today I'm going to add a few last bells and whistles that I like to add to mine to help me keep track of my documents a little better. But the first thing I want to show you is how to make sure that Word will save your document automatically while you're working so that you don't accidentally lose information by having your computer suddenly shut off or having some error happen that would close down Word. The first thing we're going to do is to come over to the File tab, and we're going to come all the way down to Options, almost at the very bottom. And within this menu over on the left hand side you'll see Save. Click on Save, and right here we see that right now, as the default, Word will automatically save your document once every 10 minutes. Well, if you're really on a roll with your research and you're putting in lots of information, losing 10 minutes of work could be quite a chunk of information. So I like to change mine to have it save every 3 minutes, which may be overkill, but I do like that. You can save it to whatever number that you would like, and make sure that you've got a check mark right here where it says keep the last autosave version if I close without saving. That way you'll always have access to it no matter what happens. Once you've changed that number, click the OK and you're good to go. This document will always be set to automatically save once every 3 minutes. The next thing I like to do is to add some information in my header and my footer. And we didn't make our margins at the top and the bottom very big, but there is still room for a header and a footer. If I click on the Insert tab and then say that I want to add a header, click that down arrow and come down to Edit Header. It'll open a new tab called Design. Now right here we can tell it how close to the top for the header and how close to the bottom for the footer, and because we made this a 1/2 inch margin up at the top, I need to make my header less than 1/2 inch, but I still want it to be able to print on my printer, so 0.3 seems to work pretty well. You can go ahead and set 0.3 for your header and your footer. And notice that the cursor is right here ready for you to type. But there are a few things that you can put in automatically, and one thing that I like to put in is the date and time. When you click date and time, you can choose the format that you want. So I'm just going to do the first option in the list with the month, the date, and the year. But right here I'm going to put a check in the box that says update automatically. That means that every time I open this document, it's going to change the date. So I will know if I've got multiple printed copies, which one is the most recent. I put that in and click OK. Now that text is a little big for me. If you highlight the text, you can click on your Home tab and you can change your text, you can change the size, you can change the color, anything that you'd like. I usually make it as small as I can. And if I want that to be on the right side rather than on the left side, I can change that option as well within this Home tab. I can come back here to Design, and down here on this end I can say now I want to edit my footer. For my footer, I've decided that I would like to know exactly where I have saved this document. It's not unusual for me to print out a document. Perhaps it's something I threw together on the spur of the moment and I printed it out. I wrote notes all over it, I colored it with my highlighters, and then I put it away and didn't work on it for a couple of weeks or several months sometimes. And then when I pick up the document again, I can't remember what I named it or where I saved it. So we're going to include a path to tell us exactly where this document can be found. Within this Design tab for our footer, over near the area where we saw date and time, there's another button for Document Info. If I click the down arrow for Document Info, the third option here is File Path. It's going to automatically add this information down here at the bottom showing me exactly what I named the document and exactly where it is. So I've got the entire path here, and all that information is automatically put in there for me. And again, I can highlight the text, I can make it as large or as small as I want. Now the smallest font size in the list is an 8, but if I want it to be even smaller, if I highlight the 8, I can type in a 6, and that's pretty much as small as I can make it and still be readable for me. Come back to the Design tab and tell it to close the header and the footer, and now you can see here's my date over here and there's my path, and it will be on every sheet that we have. The final thing I'd like to show you is how to insert an object. So my problem here is that I have a document that I've created for a family group sheet, and I would like to have access to that document, whether it's within a family land sheet or a database that I'm building in Excel or notes that I'm putting together for a certain family. But I don't want to have to go and update that family group sheet in 5 different places every time I find some new information. So we're going to insert a family group sheet at the bottom of this chart, and we're going to insert it in such a way that I only have to update it in one place and it will automatically update it here as well. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of my document. I'm going to put my cursor where I would like to insert this family group sheet. I want this to be before all of my footnotes that I've been adding to this document. My cursor is here. I'm going to come to the Insert tab, and over on the right hand side it says Object. I'm going to insert an object, and I'm going to insert something that I already have on file. I need to browse and find the document within my computer organization system, so I will hit Browse, and I will find the document on my hard drive. I have planner size group sheets, and that's what I want to use because they're the same width on the paper as this family land sheet is. So here's my document for John and Martha Smith. I'm going to tell it to insert, and then this is very important. I'm going to put a check in the box for link to file. That means that every time I make an update to the original group sheet that I have linked to, it will automatically update it here as well. Hit the OK button, and that's going to insert it into my document. Now on that file, I have even more narrow margins on the left and right than I do here. So if I click on it and come up to the ruler, I can pull this over until it fits. So my margins up here are 1/2 inch on either side, but my margins down here are 1/4 of an inch, and that helps that to fit. Now this object will remain within my document, and I have it open in another tab. This is the actual family group sheet that I have just linked to, and to show you how to update it, I'm just going to put some text in here. This is my test. I have to save the document, so Control S to save, and then I'm going to go back to my other document, and you can see that there's nothing here yet, but if I right click and I tell it to update the link, there's my new text. And every time I open this family land sheet, it's going to ask me if I want to update the objects that have been linked within this document, and I will say yes. I can do it within this sheet, or I can do it every time that I open the file. Now if I want to go to this document to do some additional editing, I can't edit in here, but I can double click on it and it opens the document for me, and then I can do any editing that I need to do. I have to save it before I update it. So here's our word test. We just removed that, so if I update the link, now that goes away. So I hope you've enjoyed learning a few things about Word, of maybe creating a family land sheet of your own. I hope this has been helpful. And I hope you'll come back and see some other video demonstrations that I'm planning to put together. Thanks for watching.